Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Louisiana Uniform Local Sales Tax Board's webinar on the new combined electronic return on parish e-file. This webinar is being recorded and will be placed on the local board's website for future reference. Local Sales Tax Board is comprised of 8 members from the 4 associations that are able to impose a local sales tax in Louisiana. They are the Louisiana School Board Association, the Police Jury Association of Louisiana, Louisiana Municipal Association, and the Louisiana Sheriff's Association. The board promotes uniformity in the administration of local sales taxes throughout Louisiana. It is responsible for maintaining the sales tax rate lookup tool, which is vital in the proper collection of local sales and use taxes. The board also processes applications for multi-parish voluntary disclosure agreements, refunds, and audits. Here's the agenda for today's webinar. It is an introduction of the panel. I'll do overview of Act 375 of the 2023 legislative session, and we will also have a live demonstration. At this time, I'll introduce the panel. Today we have with us Ms. Cressy Krennerich. She's a chairperson of the local sales tax board. You also have me, and I am Clarence Lyman, the executive director of the local sales tax board. You also have Ms. Alice Metcalf, who is the project manager for the combined electronic return. And you have Ms. Dewana Trask, who is a sales tax analyst with the local sales tax board. And you also have Ms. Brandy Sanner, who is the account executive with NUMO, which is our vendor partner for this project. I'll turn it over to Ms. Sanner for a few remarks.
Thank you, Clarence. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Brandy Sanner, and I'm the account executive here at NUMO. And I just want to express that we're super proud to be a technology partner to the Louisiana Uniform Local Sales Tax Board. NUMO has done the hosting, maintenance, and support for Parish eFile since its creation in around 2008. And we're just honored to be a part of the enhancements that have been happening this year. As a trusted partner to thousands of governmental agencies, NUMO brings over 100 years of combined experience in government technology. Today, more than 4,500 state and local agencies run on our systems. We've processed over 900 million transactions, and we've helped communities across the country collect over 44 billion with a B dollars in revenue. And that's something that we're pretty proud of. So NUMO is very grateful for the continued opportunity to support Louisiana taxpayers and the board. And I just want to say thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, Brandy. I'll continue with a few centering moments for this particular webinar as we move through the content. I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude to those of you who have joined us today for this webinar. We, have been the board and our NUMO partner, recognizes the enormity and complexity of the changes of this new combined state and local sales and use tax return brings to your work lives. Though we have attempted to communicate with you throughout this project, we understand that not everyone can remain engaged 100% of the time. Our expectation for this event is that most of the questions you and others will have will be addressed later through access to our board and other resources that we'll make available to you. Just an overview regarding Act 375 of the 2023 regular legislative session in Louisiana. The overarching intent of the legislation is to provide taxpayers with a simple, efficient, and cost-effective means of transmitting accurate sales and use tax returns and remittances to political subdivisions of the state from a central site in the quickest manner possible. The new law transfers management and supervision of the Uniform Electronic Local Return and Remittance System from the Department of Revenue to the Louisiana Uniform Local Sales Tax Board. Act 375 moves the jurisdiction over the Uniform Electronic Return and Remittance Advisory Committee from the Department of Revenue to the Local Sales Tax Board and authorizes the committee to make recommendations concerning the maintenance of the Uniform Electronic Local Return and Remittance System. The law expanded the membership of the advisory committee from 5 to 7 members by adding an additional local administrator from a list of names provided by the Louisiana Association of Tax Administrators, and one additional business representative from a list of names provided by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. The advisory committee's membership is comprised of 7 total members, which are Louisiana Uniform Local Sales Tax Board Chair, the LDR Secretary, the Society of Louisiana CPAs, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, Louisiana Retailers Association, and 2 local collectors. The act requires the board to do all of the following: manage, maintain, and supervise the uniform electronic local return and remittance system. Also, the design, implement, manage, maintain, and supervise a system whereby each taxpayer can remit state and local sales and use taxes through a single transaction. Design, manage, maintain, and supervise a link on the board's webpage for the posting of tax rates and optional exemptions for state and local taxing authorities. Act 375 also prohibited tax interest or penalty rates in a taxing jurisdiction from being changed unless the tax or increase is effective on the 1st of January, April, July, or October, with a 60-day prior notification to the board and the committee. Key changes from a design perspective: the combined return, as we all affectionately refer to it, the combined return will allow each location of a business entity to report sales for all jurisdictions in the state in a single return. The filing frequency. As a single return, filing frequencies must be the same, so everyone will need to use their most frequent filing frequency for the combined return filed for each unique physical location of a business entity. The targeted effective date is January 1, 2026 for the December 2025 filing period. It is important to point out that the new combined state and local sales and use tax return enhancements would not be possible without our focus groups' participation on a weekly and, in some respects, daily basis. The work of the core business and industry and administrators focus groups has been invaluable. From the initial design concept to the current combined return that is being tested by numerous stakeholders in the testing environment, we have had unprecedented participation and feedback from a broad and diverse group. The feedback from all stakeholders has been appreciated and contributed greatly to this project. We ask that you continue participating as you have in the past to ensure we cross the finish line and come out on the other end with a successful product. Next, we will have our project manager, Miss Alice Metcalf, do a demonstration of the new combined electronic return on Parish e-file.
Thank you, Mr. Lyman. Good afternoon, everyone. What you're seeing on the first, as we first log in, is the actual login page. If you're brand new to Parish e-file, the first thing you'll need to do is sign up. This sign up process is much like any other website that you may need to join to have access to. And you can sign up as a business owner and user or a practitioner if you have multiple businesses that you represent and need to file returns for. We're going to just take a brief look at the sign up for a business account. You can see that it's asking you for standard information regarding your business, all of your addresses. It will ask you to set up a password, a username and a password, confirm that. Clicking next will take you to a secret question. It's going to ask you a few more questions as well, and that will create for you a new user account. I've already done this, of course, so I'm going to go straight to log in to one that I've already gotten prepared for us, and I'm going to log in. This is the screen that I come to when I first log in. There are features throughout here that you'll want to play with. If this is your first time, you are a new user, there are many places where you can find support. There are FAQs, there are instructions, and so forth. If you've never registered with us before, with Parish e-File before, and you do not have account numbers with your local taxing authorities, the first thing you want to do is apply for an account number. Now, this process is for locals only, not the state. It is for any local parish taxing authority for which you do not have an account number for your physical location. And there are tags along the left to show you where you are throughout the process. You'll want to pay attention to the information written here to give you some information on what you can expect by applying for the account number, when you'll get your account number, those types of things, and how to file before you get your account number. And we'll step through the next page. Your reason for applying, and you can see we are now on business activity. We've passed the welcome page. I've started a new business. I've also started this application for us with all of the information pre-filled here. I'm acting as a corporation, but then I say sole proprietor. I'm sorry. Additional owners can be added throughout. Those are expandable fields. And you'll just follow the flow of the data that's requested. The next screen is physical locations. If you have a new physical location of a business entity where you do not have an account number yet, you'll want to add that physical location. If you already have a physical location, but you need to add or apply for a tax number in specific parishes where you deliver, then you would just continue with that particular location to add those additional parishes. And you can see I have 2 locations set up. So it's just a matter of, am I applying for a new location or do I want to add new parishes? In this case, I'm just going to act as someone who already has started this location. Additional questions, just more information. It's going to ask you for your NAICS code. That's your industry standard code. It's going to ask you for your state ID, the date you started business from this location. It's going to ask for a description of this location, and then it will give you a list of the available returns that you may need to apply for. From every parish's sales return to hotel motel returns that individual parishes may have available. I've checked a few of those as well, and maybe this as well. And I'm going to hit next, click next. This is a new feature in the registration process. For those that are familiar with the current application, you'll see it looks a little different. And we are allowing for a file upload. So if there is any information that you know that the taxing authority is going to require, or you just would like to provide, you can upload that file here. Next is the confirmation page. And it's going to display all of the information as I've entered it. Scroll down, I'm asked to sign it. I did say that I was a third-party preparer, so I'm going to sign as that third-party preparer and submit. And this is my registration complete page. What this gives me is my master, it tells me about my master account number. It gives me my confirmation number for this application. I can jump from here to prepare a return, navigate to the home page, and so forth. So that is the registration process as it is going to be when we roll out with this new product. It looks a little bit different. It is still sending your request to the individual taxing authority, and that taxing authority will then be sending you individually your tax number for that parish. Once you receive that number, you will need to come back to Parish e-File, log in, and add that number to your registration for that parish. I can take you there now. Under My Returns, Return Setup, I have currently gotten some of my accounts set up, but For the ones that I just applied for, you will find them in this list, this return information table, and their account number here will be applied for. You're able to file your first return for those parishes as account number applied for, but only the first one. Once you've filed your first return with the account number applied for, then it will stop you from filing future ones until you have actually edited this field and added the account number that's been given to you by that parish. So that'll be an important feature once you've gotten your numbers. Now, if you're new to Parish eFile, but you already have your account numbers, then the only thing you would need to do, and I'm just going to cancel out of that, is come to the same page and set up your return for, let's say I already have an account number for Bienville Parish and I'm brand new to Parish eFile. I'm going to come here and I'm just going to add a number, my account number under the tax authority account number for Bienville, and add that return to my information table below. And now I have Bienville set up under this location. I have my master account number. It matches everything else that's been set up under the location number 2. So if you currently are not using Parish eFile or do not have all of your accounts registered under Parish eFile, you can add them at any time as long as you have that number. So that takes us through pretty much of the registration process and getting you ready to file. You'll notice that I have set up these 2 locations, which I'd done previously. This is where you will see your filing status. As Mr. Lyman mentioned, to file a combined return, your filing frequencies for all of the accounts within that master location, if you will, for that physical location, must have the same filing frequency. So in this case, location 1, I have Bienville as quarterly, but I have Ascension Parish as monthly. It will not let me file a combined in that manner. So that will have to be taken care of. Again, to change the filing status, I can click edit on this line, change this to monthly, update, and now I can file the combined return. Now, before we hop over to create a return, the next thing I need to explain is that for every physical location that you have, you not only have to have your parish account set up in Parish eFile, but you need to have your state of Louisiana account set up in Parish eFile. Currently, I do have a location 1 set up for the Department of Revenue among the parishes that need to be there. So if I try to create a return for location 1, which is a combined return, able to do so, but I'm not able to add a return for location 2. The reason being that I do not have a Louisiana state account number set up for my location 2. So that's the next thing I will do, is add the Louisiana Department of Revenue, pass it up, sales and use tax. That's the return I'm registering, and it's a 10-digit number. Of course, this is just a fake one, but that is your Louisiana sales tax account number that's issued on your registration certificate that you file your state sales tax return under. And it tells me that return has been added to the table. To see that, you see now I have a location 2 with my Department of Revenue sales and use tax return added. It is also set up as monthly, so I should be able to access that return at this time. So I'm going to go file a return. I'm going to select a location of 2. I'm going to pick December 2025 and click next. This is the actual combined return. This is the user interface that you will see when you log in and create a return to file all of your parishes and your state under. The top portion follows the state return. Lines 1 through 4 are identical. Schedules A and A1 of the current state return, all of the codes, all of the exemptions listed in those 2 schedules will now be found between schedules 1 and 2 on the combined return. Line 3 follows exactly the way the state does. And now I'll just enter some data quickly to let you see how that works, and it calculates through. And we'll go into the leases, rentals, and services and just add a few bits of data that may help to understand the return a little bit. And I'll save. And Schedule 1. This is where you would add any sales and use tax exemptions that are available at the state level that are 100% exempt for the state. They're also available at the local level and 100% exempt at the local level. So those will all be listed on Schedule 1. Some of the very common ones we'll just pick out, such as sales to government agencies. We can list that. That's a very common one I find. Maybe sales for resale is also another common one. We can try that one and just enter some data for you to see. The next is Schedule 2. Schedule 2 is items that are exempt at the state and at the local, but they're treated differently. So the taxing amounts will be different. There are some items that are subject to a reduced rate at the state level that may be fully exempt at the local level or subject to a different rate. One primary example of that is the sales of manufacturing machinery and equipment. Also sales of, which we can choose that, and I'll show you how that will work. We also have sales of food would be a good example. Food or prescription drugs are subject to 0% at the state level, but can be taxed at a reduced rate at the local level. So I can show you how that will work. And I did not save it. Save it. So now your return is calculating across, just like the state does. 4 is a total of 1s, 2, and 3. Your schedules that give you your exemptions are calculated on 5A and 5B with a total on 5. So total allowable deductions on line 5 is the same calculation as the state's line 5 as it exists today. And then your net adjusted gross sales, your tax due, and so forth. The remainder of this does calculate just like the state return does with your military, family assistance fund, donations. Everything that's there today will be there with this return as well. The middle portion here, I'll call it the middle portion, you'll see why in 1 second, is going to take you through reducing the adjusted gross sales that will be accounted for at the local level by items that the local taxing authorities cannot tax, such as the items listed in lines 3D2, 3D3, and 3D4, which are your inter and intrastate telecommunication services, your cablevision, video programming, and satellite services that are taxed now at an additional 5% at the state level and cannot be taxed by the local taxing authorities. So we need to pull that number out of our adjusted gross sales in order not to have them be taxed at the local level. And this line here, line 15, is where we do that. We also subtract out the cost of tangible personal property. As you may be aware, anything that you import into Louisiana that may be subject to the use tax at the state level is reported on line 2. However, you could have a different number at the local levels depending on where the property is being imported from. So property that is imported in an inter-parish manner would be subject at the local but not the state. So we do subtract that as well. We also have Schedule 3, which is an exemption schedule for items that are 100% exempt for all local taxing authorities, but may be handled a little bit differently at the state level. So we've added those as well. And that's added to our allowable deductions from Schedule 1. And the balance is our adjusted gross sales that will be reported to an individual taxing authority. So the next step is to add those jurisdictions. These are all of the parishes that I have set up for my location 2, and that's what's available. Now, if I have not set them up, they will not be here. And if I'm missing one, that means, okay, I need to go back and I need to add him to my list under that return setup page. For now, we're good. I'm going to select Alan. I can select everything, or I can select just individual taxing authorities that I need. Same with Ascension, same with any of them, okay? Once you add them here, you cannot come back to this page and unadd them, but we do have a delete feature I'll show you. I'm not going to add Ascension. Well, actually, I can show you that with this. So let's add him. Let's add a couple from Bienville as well, and maybe Lincoln. And we'll just add a couple, just enough so you can get a feel for how this is going to flow. Okay, and click add. So this is the delete feature. If I've added something in error, I cannot go back here and uncheck it, but I can delete that row or that column or that domicile, however you would like to refer to it. I can delete it from this page, from the front page. To enter our adjusted gross sales, which we have 97,100 up here, I will start with column 1 from the Allen Parish return and just enter figures. I can put something under. I do want to show you the manufacturing machinery and equipment and the prescription drugs that you sell will be listed on these fields as well. Currently, there is a reporting requirement that you list those amounts, even though they may be fully taxable. And right now, I believe it is a line 27 and 28 on your current returns, and this is where it will be moving forward. So if I have any of those types of sales, now these fields are available on every single domicile. So you will see that purchases can be listed here as well. So if you have purchases of that type or any purchases that are subject to use tax, you would list them here at the local level. And if there were a reduced rate for any of these transactions, the deduction rate would be listed here. The deduction would be calculated and it will be provided to you on the front page on line 25 as a deduction amount. There are also provisions for additional types of taxes. We have 4 sales tax returns currently that have a hotel motel tax as a separate column on that return. And for Allen Parish, that is column 7, domicile 0299. And you can see that you're not able to edit the sales or purchases fields. You cannot click into them, but you can click into the additional tax and click add, and it will show you what additional tax is available for that column or domicile. And we'll add an amount there. It calculates the percentage and we save. And that's Allen Parish. We'll put some random numbers in for Bienville. And I want you to notice at the bottom here that as we are entering adjusted sales into our different parishes, the system is calculating our total. It's keeping a running total to compare to the adjusted gross sales from line 19 above. So as I enter these numbers, that will, it will not give us the button to continue filing until we've reported everything. So let's keep going. Now, I've entered information in Allen, column 1, which is 0200. I've entered additional tax due for Allen in column 7, which is 0299 domicile. Column A for Bienville, which is 0703's domicile. Column A for Lincoln, and column B for Lincoln. I've not entered anything into Ascension Parish and the other columns that we have available. But we do have a match now, and I do have a next button, and I will proceed to file. This is my payment information. If you have never been on Parish eFile, or if you have added new parishes to your filing and you've not set up a payment account for those parishes, you will need to jump to payment accounts under Account Center, and you can create a payment account, whether it be checking, savings, or an ACH credit. For purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to add a credit for the parishes that are included in my return. And it will show you as you do it who is available. And at this point, it will show you the list of those who have been created. So you've been approved for ACH credit for these following parishes. One second. Ascension is on our return. We want to create the Enville as well, if I do not have that one so far. Oh, as you can see, it tells you if you haven't checked the box. And we did Lincoln. Okay. Now, my return was not complete because I never hit the File Return button. So I'll add in my payment accounts. It would not have let me proceed without that. I'll go to my filing history, and I'm going to look for that December return, and you'll see it showing me location 2, Louisiana Combined State and Local Return. I can check this little blue, the little blue circle has a tiny plus sign in it, and it will show you all of your parishes that you have included. Well, not just your parishes, all jurisdictions that you've included in this combined return and at what status they are. And I'm going to click continue. Now that I have all of my payments set up, payment accounts set up, I can click next, get to the payment, click next, and file return. Now you can see under file return, each actual individual parish and the state that you have included in this return, the ones that had account numbers, the ones that are applied for, and so forth. If you would like to look at those, we can do print all. That's for you. The administrators at the different taxing authorities will only receive what is relative to them. This is the Allen Parish return. This is page 1. It shows all of the applicable information to the account, your master location number, your trade name, your legal name, your location address, the parish that it represents, the account number that you filed under, the filing period, the state account number, the filing frequency, the confirmation number from this return, and the NAICS code that you have entered on that information when you first set this up. The first page is information from the top portion of the data entry screen. The gross sales of tangible personal property, that's line 1. Purchases of TPP, that's line 2. The telecommunications services, this is 3D, 2, 3, and 4. And then these are the rest of the lines 3. It gives you a total gross revenue, the state only revenue, and here's your math. So you've got your gross sales of tangible personal property, leases, rentals, and services, less the reduction of the state only revenue, which again is your line 2, line 3D, 2, 3, and 4. Anything that was reported under Schedule 1 will be subtracted here, and anything reported under Schedule 3 will be subtracted here as well. And the balance is your local adjusted gross sales as shown in the demonstration. Just below that will be anything that is listed on Schedule 1 or 3. They will have a heading with the fact, in this case, Schedule 1 is 100% deductible for state and local. On Schedule 3, it will show that it is 100% deductible for all local taxing authorities. And that's page 1. Page 2 of Allen Parish's return will have the same header information, and it will bring you, with these 3 lines here, into that parish's information. So you start with your local adjusted gross, which is the 97,100 as shown before. Anything delivered into another parish is going to be listed here. Now this is a calculated field now, or will be with this return, whereas currently it is an amount that you enter manually. And that gives you the parish adjusted gross sales. It gives you a summary first of all of the domiciles within that parish that you have reported. We added 3. We show 1 has gross sales, it has purchases, and column 6, which is domicile 0206, we did not report anything, so it's zeros. Column 7, which is domicile 0299, had no sales and purchases. It doesn't have them, so we couldn't have entered them, but it does have additional tax due, and is showing that here. When we scroll down, we get the domicile specific information so that our taxpayers can know exactly what was entered, and it should show you exactly what you entered for each and every domicile. And that will be the same till you get to your signature line. This right now is on a separate page. Eventually that will move up to an empty space on the previous page where possible. So that would be for Allen. I do want to show you that for Ascension, we did not type any information. We didn't enter any information into Ascension Parish. However, we are creating a 0 return for Ascension because the taxpayer, me acting as a taxpayer, did include them in the return. Page 1 looks exactly the same as the one for Allen, with the exception of the correct parish name and the account number applied for. And then you have the summary for Ascension Parish showing 0, so we will not follow it with any additional information as it is a 0. And then that signature page, which will move up eventually. You can get the state, you can view each and every one, and then those will be forwarded to the individual taxing authorities. So that is the demonstration of the return. There are a couple of things I do want to show you. One is we are providing an exclusion here under File a Return if you are a state consolidated filer where you use a Schedule B. You will not be filing your consolidated information on the combined return. Instead, you will be filing a combined return for each location that you have, just like everyone else. But you can check this box before you file, and we will not submit the state return to the state with this combined return. You still have to enter the data. So if I try to file another return for my same location, let's say I'm now going to try and file January for this location, number 2. We filed a December, and now we want to file January. It will not let me. The reason it will not let me is because I still have applied for as the account number in multiple parishes. So back to the return setup page, you can enter those account numbers applied for here as the ones that are applied for, and enter account numbers. What I will do is click Edit, add the number, and update, and do it again for Allen. Okay, it tells me Allen has to be 7 characters. Their account number has a rule on it requiring 7 characters. And there are several parishes that do have those rules. Just so you know, it will stop you and tell you that it's not correct, and to enter something that fits their criteria, as you see there. Okay, just a couple more. We'll get those straight, and we'll go back to the consolidated filing, and I can show you how that works. Okay, what I'm also going to show you before we move over is that you may be seeing this Cameron Parish not applicable here, and I'm going to show you what that is. And how you can report those sales that you made to Cameron even though there's no tax involved, but they can be reported. Sorry guys, 1 second. I'm getting all these account numbers added here, which is what you would need to do if you applied for multiple accounts within one sitting, and get all of those numbers straight. I'm also going to go add Cameron for my location 2, which is in the drop down as Cameron Parish, location 2. You'll see it populates not applicable, add return, and now Cameron Parish is added to my list for location 2. So if I go to create the return, as I was going to show you, if you file a consolidated state return that includes the Schedule B, you check here and you're allowed to continue filing that return. I also want to show you from this page what I did not show you earlier, and I'm just going to use a very low number just to give you an idea of how this looks. I'm going to add Cameron as well. Okay, which Cameron, we just have column A. Of course, again, there's no tax in that parish, so I will add $50 here, save, $50 in Cameron, and save. And you'll see that no taxes calculated on Cameron, but it is a matter of reporting your sales where they occurred. It is a balanced return. So all the sales that you do make within the state will be reported here. There is a box on this return screen as well, and that will allow you to check this box, and the system will automatically display this list of jurisdictions on your next return. So if you file for multiple parishes, multiple jurisdictions, you may want to check that so that next month when you file, those are there when you enter this return, when you log into this return. And click next. Again, next. All the return, same process. And we do have a Cameron Parish, not applicable, 0 amount. Allen, 0 amount, $3 due in Acadia. Now, when I look at the Acadia PDF of the return, you will see on page 2 that $50 was delivered into another jurisdiction. So just to show you that one more time, how that's going to look. And the next thing, and I think we're getting close to wrapping it up. I know it's a little tedious, but we'd rather give you more information than less. Some of you that are filing consolidated with the state of Louisiana are issued a B number, and that is what is listed on your Schedule B as your location ID. As we talked about before, whenever you file a combined return, you have to have a state account number set up and at least one parish account. If you're using your state account number for your consolidated filing, then you will need to use your B number or state location ID as your state ID for the combined return. So, for instance, if your account number with the state of Louisiana for your consolidated filing ends in possibly 000, it's a 10-digit number. It could be 001, 002. It could be several options, but it is going to be a 10-digit number. Your location ID on the Schedule B could be what they call a B number, which means it begins with a B and has 11 digits following that B. We have made allowances in Parish e-File to accept that B number. So if you do file consolidated with the state of Louisiana, you would be able to add that state of Louisiana account number to the location that it applies to. Now, I've already added the Louisiana account to each one of my locations, but it would be a separate, we would allow you to enter that B number here under authority account number. The last thing I want to show you is just to point to those that use file upload feature in Parish e-File under import return. You can import your returns here. There are instructions, there are schedules. We also want to point you to the Louisiana Uniform Local Sales Tax Board's website, which that contact information will be on our next slide. There are all of the schedules that relate to this return, all supporting documentation, all information regarding additional tax due, copies of the returns data entry screen, several how-to screenshots are available on our website, and that contact information will be on the next slide. And with that, I believe it wraps it up. And if we would be happy to answer your questions as well in the future. And I think I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Lyman now.
Thank you, Alice. Great job, by the way. I'll end by saying we believe that the combined return offers numerous efficiencies when compared to the current single and multi-jurisdictional filing options. So we encourage you to explore this well before you're required to file the December 2025 return beginning in January. As Alice mentioned, a recording of this webinar as well as past webinar we did, in addition to all of the resource materials that we've made available to you throughout this process, are housed on our website under the resources tab. So we encourage you to look over that information, take advantage of it. There is sufficient information there to assist you with preparing yourself and your company to file the December return. So with that, I'll close by saying I want to thank the panel here today and all those who attended this webinar. We look forward to the availability and utilization of the new combined electronic return on Parish e-file. And I wish you have a great day. And again, we appreciate your attention.